Hi, my name is Peter Friska and I'm from Poland.
And my name is Angie Vanelsacker, and I'm from Michigan.
We've been living here in Da Nang for over 12 years now.
We have two kids. One was born here. They're 5 and 2. And yeah, we came to Da Nang thinking we'd be here for 1 year and never left.
Hi, my name is Christine. I'm from the US. I am 33 years old. I like to garden. I've been living in Duong for 5 years.
Hi, I'm Hans. I'm from the UK and Germany, a mixed nationality, and I've been living in Da Nang for 6 years, and I enjoy it very much.
My name is Sharif Haq. I'm from the United States. I used to live in California, San Diego.
I'm Vifam Haq. I was born in Vietnam, but I left when I was 6. And Sharif and I, we are resided in San Diego, California. So we've been here for 3.5 years. And because of my work, so we're spending about 80% of the time in Da Nang and 20% in San Diego, California.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Central Vietnam Reality's web series. I'm Austin Wires. Today we have something new and maybe slightly more interesting for you guys. We'll be interviewing a few different residents and citizens of Da Nang to teach you guys a little bit more about the cost of living in Da Nang. We'll also be going through some of their apartments and residences, including mine at the end of the video, for those of you who may be interested.
Well, we've been here for over 12 years now. We first came maybe for a year. We never been to Asia before, and we thought, hey, that'll be a great adventure. We came here to Da Nang and we fell in love with it, and then we never left.
You want me to answer that? Yeah. So initially we actually moved to Ho Chi Minh City. We lived there for like 2 months, 3 months. I'm like, oh my God, this is like New York City. Like we lived in New York for 5 years, and that's what it felt like. I'm like, I can't do this. So, she was originally born in Da Nang, so we're like, yeah, let's go see Da Nang. And first time we came to Da Nang like 4 or 5 years ago, like Lady Buddha was like barely getting made. It was like not that great. And then we came to visit like 3 years ago. I was like, wow, this is like San Diego. Beautiful beach. We love playing volleyball, so we go to play volleyball on the beach. We love playing sports. It's very like clean. You got the sea on one side, you got the river on one side. So this whole peninsula area is just very fresh air. The quality and everything else is so much better than Saigon. I'm like, we're staying here and moving here.
I first came to Vietnam in 2017. I was first living in Ho Chi Minh, and I didn't really love Ho Chi Minh. It was a very busy and not my idea of kind of adventure in coming to Asia when I had just finished university. I really quickly then came for a holiday in Da Nang and pretty much instantly fell in love with the city.
I came to Vietnam for teaching, and I had intention to go to Hanoi, but once I came to Da Nang, being with the nature here, I decided to.
I just stumbled randomly across the city and immediately fell in love with the beach and just the way of living and the people and all of that. So when I finished university, I decided to come over for 6 months first and just kept extending. And here we are 6 years later and still enjoying life every day. There's always something new and interesting. I feel every day cycling through the city, driving through the city, something new is out there.
So I work for Central Vietnam Realty. I'm a sales agent and manager. I've been doing it for 5-6 years, and that kind of provides me a little bit more flexibility in terms of lifestyle and cost of living.
I'm a U.S. immigration attorney, so in Da Nang I have an office. It's called Immigration Global, and what we do is we help Vietnamese people that want to go to America, whether to live or just to visit or to study there. So we help them with all types of visas.
I'm an independent filmmaker. And I make documentaries. Yeah, I already did a documentary called Vietnam Fast Forward, which is streaming on Amazon Prime. I'm working on 2 different documentaries now. One will be on the women of Vietnam, and then another one, the ethnic minority group of Vietnam. So that's what I do, which allows me to have a really great lifestyle here because there's so much other things to do for me, and then it's just great in general because of that.
So I'm a language teacher, English teacher, and I also teach maths. I work for a software company in the city, and they also asked me to help with things like internship recruitment, and so I have a few other responsibilities as well, but main job is teaching English and mathematics.
I teach at preschools and some private classes teaching arts and crafts, and I feel I can work kind of leisurely and still have a nice lifestyle here.
I manage a real estate company called CVR Central Vietnam Realty that you might have heard about. That's been my main occupation for over 10 years now.
And I'm a teacher. I worked at the international school previously and then took time off to have children, which I'm still doing, taking time off.
Well, yeah, for Da Nang it's somewhat unique, meaning it has quite a big garden, a big piece of land, a little bit of an older house. We've been renting it for 8 years now. And we love it. Our kids love it. It's a great place to raise children and live. The rent is about including all of the utilities and taking care of the swimming pool and garden. For a house like this, you're looking at between $1,500 and $2,500 a month.
So, I mean, initially we stayed in the Mian area. I mean, during COVID times, we ended up moving into a villa. And because the price dropped during COVID, so we ended up getting this amazing villa, like a 5-bedroom villa for like $1,300 or something like that. This would cost like $5,000 in the United States a month. So it was just an amazing, with a pool cleaner, and it's just luxury, ultimate luxury place. And we had that for a couple of years. And then we went back after COVID to US for like 7-8 months because we haven't seen our family for a long time. And then when we came back, she ended up opening an office. To offset the office expenses, we decided to go a little smaller. Instead of a villa, we've been living at 2-bedroom apartment complexes here, right here in Monarchy, which is just gorgeous. My view is, that's my work table right there, and I get to look at the ocean. It's hard to beat. Typical rent here is about 13 to 16 million for a 2-bedroom. Our friend that owns this place, he's Canadian American also. He's also really did a good job at decorating, making it a modern place. So typically if you get a good modern place like this, you're looking at 15 to 17 million, I think. But if you got like something more bare minimum, you're looking at 12 to 13 million you can get for a 2-bedroom for one of the top buildings, I think, in Da Nang.
This is my place now, which is a penthouse on Vo Van Kiet between the Dragon Bridge and the beach. Very convenient location. I've always loved staying in penthouses and rooftops throughout my time in Da Nang. I find them so liberating and free, the feeling of being able to have a great view. A view is worth $1 million to me. This one here costs $6.5 million per month, which is about $250 US.
I'm currently living in just a house. Every month the rent is $9 mil, or around $400.
So the rent at my house is just about $1,000 per month, not including utilities. And now I'm staying in a single-story 3-bedroom villa with the pool and my dog Rufus. Yeah, it's a great place, but it took me a while to find what I really wanted and what I was looking for. And now I hope I don't have to move ever again, to be honest.
Well, obviously the main thing would be the rent. And then on top of the rent, there is electricity, which depends on how much aircon you use, usually changes. If you have a pool and a garden and you want to have someone look after it, that's going to be another $100 here, $100 there. Adds up to about $200, $300, $400 a month in utilities for keep up of a place like this.
The children's education is probably about $400 per child right now, but they're both in kindergarten, in a small kindergarten.
So for my house, it's just me and Rufus. I spend on average about $40 to $50 a month on electricity and about $5, maximum $10 a month on water. My internet is about $100 a year, so about $8 a month. So total monthly, I'm looking at, $70, $75 a month in utilities for my place. My only other major expense would be food and kind of entertainment. I go out for 2 to 3 meals a day, and I'm often out seeing friends after work. So my biggest expenses other than housing is really just food and drink, but still that is quite reasonable compared to what I've spent living in Europe or in the US before.
On average, a month is 500K, so around $22. I think not on the regular, but like when coming here, like you have to buy the bike, and sometimes your bike may have faults. Yeah, not really too many extra expenses.
Not too much, especially for winter season. It's just going to be a few tens of dollars, 10, 20 maybe. For summer season like now, I'll need air conditioning to sleep, and that's when it gets upwards of 50, 60 US dollars per month just for electricity. But overall, it's not going to be more than 100 for electricity, water, internet, and the whole caboose.
Wonderful.
So I think our expense would be, I would say around 500 US dollars a month, but that's really on the high end, you know, because he cooks all the time. And going out too, because we rarely go out, so when we go out, we actually really like good quality food that he can't cook at home. So we spend a little bit more on going out than a normal person would living in Vietnam. So.
Yeah, I mean, you could go out and get food for lunch for like $2-3 out here. You know, sometimes $5 for something good. But I'm 52 this year. She's 46 this year. So look, for us, I mean, we're getting older. So I think with the quality of food, quality of lifestyle is very important. So like I go to Mega Mart, which is kind of like the Costco of Vietnam. Just have the most high-end quality. Like, it's our bills are expensive, but then I get like mortadella from Italy, you know, from Delhi, right? So I'm getting like high-end French wine, you know. So all the stuff I do get here would be actually way more expensive if we're in the United States. So I get to live that luxury life of having amazing food at a much lower cost. I mean, if our bill would be $1,000 a month if this was in the United States.
Yeah, like for us, I think like when we go out, because we enjoy good wine too, so I think for us, like on an average of like a month, I would say if we will go out, not just eating, but also go out like to a bar or club, our average would be like around $350-400 US dollars a month.
I eat out for almost all my meals. I typically don't eat breakfast, and that's a personal choice. But if you're eating local food, generally it's anywhere between $1 and $3 for, you know, a plate of food, a meal, whether it be rice or noodles or, you know, something more unique, Vietnamese style food. Then if you're going for international food, if you want French food, American food, Italian food, you're probably looking between $7 and $10 a meal for something nicer. So I probably spend around $10 to $15 a day on my food.
Since moving into this house, I've started almost exclusively cooking, and I would say around like less than a meal a month for food. Going to the local market, it's about $45. I eat out sometimes, going to some local spots, and that can range from like 25K to 150K or more depending.
I eat out every day, 3 times. I like to eat local food, which can be for your standard bowl of just less than 50,000 dong, so $2 US. If I eat Western food, which is a rare thing, it will be $10 plus per dinner. So in a week, not looking at more than $100 US on food, for example.
Well, actually, Angie is a great chef, so we eat at home a lot. With that said, Vietnam is a great place for dining out. You can eat lunches, dinners, you can go out for very reasonable amounts. But with that, we probably eat more at home than go out.
Maybe once a week go out. And we often choose more Western places, so there are more Western prices when we go out for dinner. Groceries, probably, you know, groceries and other little things, 600 to 800 maybe.
Well, maybe some of the imported food products that you used to, such as, which are not very popular in Vietnam, dairy products, cheeses, stuff that's imported. was probably more than we expected. But then it's up to you whether you choose to live more like back home or you adjust to the local culture and cut down on your expenses.
Not that I can think
I mean,
of.
like, it's really hot, like, so the that's the unexpected change, I think. Sometimes these 2 months of 2-3 months that it gets really hot, so maybe the electric bill gets like doubled, right? That's about the only thing you could say that would be unexpected, but it's actually the opposite, I feel like. You know, we go for a vacation, you know, 1-day vacation in Cham Island, right? And I'm looking at the bill, like we went private boat, snorkeling, you know, a nice like little, you know, homestay, and it's like $40 a person for overnight stay. I'm like, that's insane. That includes all the meals and everything. So that's your little mini vacation that costs like 30 minutes away, nothing.
Yeah, so I mean, total cost, if we count everything, including rent and food and everything, I'm probably looking around $1,500 to $2,000 per month.
I would say max 15 mil, and I don't know what that is US, but
About 750.
yeah, but likely less than that. So.
If it's a normal month without any holidays or any luxuries, anything like that, probably maybe $400-500 US a month. If it's a special month where I'm traveling, going around, then, you know, resort costs, they would come up maybe $1,000-1,500 US.
I'd say probably around $3,000 a month.
I think it would depend what you're looking for here, because my price of rent has gone up since I moved here, but it's because I wanted to live in a house where I can have a garden and can live more, just focus on my routine here.
I think with the food, the options, you know, when we first came here 12 years ago, there weren't a lot of Western options for food. So eating was quite inexpensive because you're either eating Vietnamese or shopping, but, you know, without the expensive cheeses and stuff. And now you have a lot of options for Western foods, restaurants, and that come with Western prices.
I think it has risen a little bit. I think since 3-4 years ago that we've been here, but that's to be expected, right? Because of inflation. So you can see like the price up about 10-15%. But still, with that being said, it's still so affordable.
Also, it's the COVID effect, right? I mean, it was we're used to having discounted pricing for the 2 years in COVID because Vietnam shut down. So they did lower pricing on everything, right? So now suddenly we're back in COVID, so people are getting maybe a little bit of shock. Oh my God, my banh mi costs 50 cents more, holy shit, you know? So, I mean, that's about it.
Marginal.
Right,
yeah. So I've been here for 6 years. The biggest change really was in 2020 when COVID happened. The cost of rent went way down, up to 30-50%. So we're still kind of riding a wave of cheaper rent at the moment. That will continue to rise in the coming years as tourism comes back and investment comes back. But then there's been other little things, just like, you know, food and drink and those kind of basic amenities. Everything's gone up by, you know, 10% maybe in the 6 years I've been here. But nothing extreme, nothing really more than just standard inflation.
Well, I think it's very affordable. You can have a great lifestyle here at what probably is considered close to minimum income in some of the places in the world. Of course, it's getting, you know, Vietnam is quickly catching up to the global economy, but given the prices and costs of labor, cost of different aspects of life, it's still a great place in terms of value.
Yeah.
I can answer that really. I mean, because we just went back to San Diego for like 5-6 months, and it was ridiculous. A cost of a Budweiser beer is like $10. Like, how am I going to compare that to like 50 cents or $1 for a Huda here? I'm drinking like top-end craft beer for like $2-3, where over there in San Diego it's like $16-17 for a pint. Yeah. That's how it is. Even if you go for a burger with a group of friends, the bill's like $40-50, and I can have a top-end sushi here for the same price. So if you want to compare the price, that's where how disparate it is right now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've lived in the U.S., in Wisconsin, in Chicago, and in Copenhagen, in Denmark as well. And comparing Da Nang or Vietnam in general to Scandinavia or the US is, I mean, you can't even compare it, right? I mean, it's so much more affordable here. Everything is cheap. My monthly entire budget, what I spend for everything here, is less than what I would pay for rent in America, especially in Chicago, for something decent to live in an area you would like to live. So it's so much lower and so nice, and you feel like you're getting a ton of value for your money here.
So traveling by local transport, that's one way of doing it. Avoiding things like takeaway food, that can add slight fees. Another way is eating local food and fruit. You can buy imported food in Da Nang, but it tends to be more expensive. So acting local, eating local, becoming local, that's really the best way of doing it.
I think, I mean, I can talk in terms of maybe food. Yeah, you know, you go visit your local markets, like Bak Mian Market. I mean, you can go there and get like 2 bags of groceries for like $5, $6. So that's a huge savings. I mean, it's, you know, if you don't speak Vietnamese, it might be a little hard. I go shopping by myself. I don't speak a lick of Vietnamese much. I mean, I have like 3 or 4 words I know. But the ladies at Bak Mian Market, I just point and they just go and then put it on their calculator as how much it costs, and that's it. I've never had any issues. Otherwise, you know, there's a lot of activities to do. I have a badminton group, I have a volleyball group, we have a pickleball group, you know, so it's like we have a lot of different groups, and these things don't cost that much money. Before you move into an apartment, look all around and make sure there's no construction going on. That's it. Just look around. Before you pick an apartment, go there at night at 9 o'clock and make sure there's no karaoke going on around you, or construction. That empty lot means it's gonna get built. It's a very, very fast growing city. Probably the fastest growing city, I think, in Vietnam. So they're gonna build. And so at any lots that are open around, there is 90% chance something's gonna get built there. So make sure you check in the morning and night if there's anything going on noise-wise. That's the biggest tip I can give for people trying to move in here, looking at apartment. Also try to look for apartments that has noise canceling doors and things like that, where you can't hear anything from outside. That is one of the biggest tips I can give.
I think I would suggest that, like, if you want to buy anything, be part of Facebook. Because like you can get things that's secondhand for super cheap, like versus like let's say 800 VND, you can get it like 400 VND, because people move in and out all the time. So get to that group, get to know people, and just buy it off of it, and you're saving a lot of money anyways.
I think we took a full year to really decide how we felt about being here, and because it's a roller coaster ride at first, so you have to give it time.
I think the biggest tip for someone who just moved to Da Nang is to get out and explore. Get a motorbike, go around, try a bunch of new places, try new activities, you know, whether it's a sport or, you know, a craft or whatever it is. There's so much going on in Da Nang that will help you kind of immerse yourself in the community. You'll learn more, you'll have a better time, you'll feel happier. I think my #1 tip is just to go for it, get out there and see what Da Nang has to offer.
I guess like the first thing I think of is that like whatever you thought you knew about wherever your home is, it's kind of completely different here. And if you feel like there's not as much need to be like uptight about like saving so much for this or for that. And yeah, I would recommend to anyone to like loosely seek the expat pages for things to do and ways to connect.
Get out there, learn the local language, make friends. That's #1, definitely. It's never good to hermit away, and Vietnamese people are so friendly. And if you can, find a company that is able to provide you with things like a temporary resident card and all the things that insurance as well, to make sure that you're safe and comfortable in the new city, because those are things that you really need to have peace of mind, peace at heart.
Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed those interviews and the walkthroughs of people's residences. I think it's good for you to meet some real people, some real citizens of Da Nang, to better understand, you know, what it means to live in Da Nang, what it costs to live in Da Nang, and what type of residences or, you know, houses, apartments are available. Stay tuned. We're going to keep doing these kind of citizens of Da Nang and affordability of Da Nang type videos so you can meet more people and see a little bit about the diversity that Da Nang has to offer. Again, if there's anything you guys want to see or any questions you have, feel free to reach out. We're always available. And thank you. Stay tuned for the next one.